球の心と物質
Welcome
Jesus.
back. Welcome back, Jesus. Because you rose. He is risen.
He's risen with two Z's.
Two Z's risen. Riz.
You know, as you can see, this is a very important weekend, guys.
Super.
Two major holidays happened this weekend.
One more major than the other.
But we're not going to say which one.
No, we are. We for sure can. And the one that's least important involves a made-up character. All right?
And we'll leave it at that.
And we'll let you decide which it is. We can say them, no?
Yeah. So yesterday was March 30th, and yesterday was Batman Day.
Hell yeah.
The 85th anniversary of the Caped Crusader.
Yeah. And then if you look at the video, you can see right here, this is number 27, issue number 27 of Detective Comics.
Yes, sir.
Tell the people what that means.
So for people who don't know, DC Comics is kind of a funny name because it actually stands for Detective Comics. Because the original comic that DC started off with was called Detective Comics, where it was essentially an anthology series where every issue was about a different character, different tale, this and that. And so come issue 27.
Come issue 27?
Come coffee. Come this issue, Bill Finger and Bob Kane created the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, Batman, with issue 27 of Detective Comics.
Hell yeah.
And to this day, it is now one of the longest running comic book series of all time. It's over 1,100 issues right now. Detective Comics.
It's crazy.
And Batman has taken over for like that title. Like now when people read Detective Comics, they're reading Batman comics.
Yeah.
And it made such a huge staple. And motherfucker's 85 now. He's looking good though.
Hell yeah, bro. That's Batman right there, ripped.
Yeah.
And Jesus is also looking ripped.
Yeah, man. Fucking Jesus, he works out, man.
He has a six-pack, no, in the picture?
He does.
That's so funny detail.
Even in Passion of the Christ, fucking dude was in shape.
Hell yeah, bro. Man's was shredded.
Like I would love to know the workout routine that he had to go through for that. You think it was as intense as like Marvel superheroes today?
I think I'd say as intense as Christianity. Nah, I don't think so. I think he just, maybe he probably cut his diet, probably this and that. Who played him? Some guy. We covered it in the episode though in the past.
Yeah, we did definitely talk about that movie at some point in time.
Yeah, man. That movie kind of sucked though. Fucking yeah, but today we're talking. We're on the AMC section. But before anything, what we do here on the show is talk about what's happening in the Earth,
Inner Minds,
and why it matters. This is Earth, Mind, and Matter. It is Easter, so
it's Easter.
Right now, so I put a picture of Jesus on the screen. I wasn't gonna mention it, but he's looking at me.
He's looking right at you.
He's looking right at me.
He says, "Don't make fun of me."
It's kind of intimidating. I'm not gonna lie, man. And I got Batman right next to me. It's just pretty funny. I got the duality of man, bro.
Right? The Dark Knight and the White Crusader.
That's what I'm saying, bro. But today we're going to be talking about the movie section of A.M.C. That is a movie that I hold very dear to me.
Well, before we even
before anything,
A.M.C. Albums, movies, comics.
Yeah. I thought you were going to mention your comic showcase.
That too.
Okay. So mention that first.
So when this episode comes out, following that same week on April 13th, I will be doing a showcase at St. Mark's Comics in Industry City in Brooklyn, April 13th. It'll be from 12 to 7. Pull up. I'll be selling my art and shit like that. If you want podcast stickers, I'll have them there and things of that nature. So if you want to support your friendly neighborhood hobby,
go to the fucking show. That's my message to you. Go to the fucking show. Go see some other people's arts as well. Arts and crafts, literally.
It's free too.
It's free?
It's free admission.
OD free.
So
we'll put that in the caption and the reel and stuff like that. So people don't like paying for shit nowadays.
Yeah, it's just pull up.
Yeah, man.
You got nothing to do but have to waste your time.
But funner things.
The worst that'll happen is that I'll bore you like I do every week on Earth, Mind, and Matter, where we talk about what's going on in the Earth.
If you go and you mention something we say on the show this week, no free sticker, but you'll get something.
You'll get a high five.
You get a high five and a hug, maybe a snapple.
Little kiss.
little smooch on the chin. Little chin smooch.
Nah, I was thinking more on the knee.
On the knee?
Yeah.
It's a little progressive.
It's a new thing I'm going to start doing.
It's a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Knee smooches?
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about the movie section in AMC.
Of our AMC section, yeah.
Goddamn. And fucking, we had 2 egg and cheeses before we started the episode. and my stomach's making noises. I'm burping. It's not a good vibe.
But yeah, so we always cycle every other episode through the AMC. A couple weeks ago, we covered an album where we looked at Green Day's Saviors.
We did.
This week, we're looking at a movie.
Yes, we are.
It's Frankie's choice.
Yeah, man. And we're covering the movie Mouse Hunt. It's a movie called Mouse Hunt. And the way I describe this movie is basically Home Alone, but with the mouse. And I don't know if that... Do you think that's a fitting description?
Yeah, I would say so.
Pretty much, right? It's a very old movie. And the reason I picked this movie...
Very old movie.
Very, very old.
Very old movie.
Very old. Did I say that?
97.
It's pretty old. It's pretty old. What the fuck you mean? It's 31 years, bro.
30,
yeah.
Boy, it's not 31 years.
Isn't it 31? Oh, 30, 38, 28?
Frankie, what year were you born?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, it's 25 years old, right? 26 years old. Yeah, whatever, man. Bro. I got a Mets game to go to, bro. I got a Mets game after this. I'm so fucking twisted on time and shit like that. So I'm a little distracted. I'm not going to lie to you. But thankfully, I very much like this movie a lot. How old is this fucking... 27, right?
Yeah.
27, 26. Whatever, bro. But I'll do a little... I keep looking at this fucking phone. You're right here. My bad, bro. It's because Jesus is right in the middle of everything, bro. It's really distracting.
Hey, man, if you want to look at them, you can look at them.
No, man. It's Jesus telling me to look at the people and talk to them and tell them how he has risen. Okay, now fucking focus, okay? So... I don't know when the fuck I watched Mouse Hunt when I was younger, right?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? Have you ever heard of it or anything?
No.
Right? So I feel it's one of those under the radar movies where it's under the radar, not because it was major and deserves all this attention. That's not the idea I'm going for. I just think it's one of those movies that kind of existed, you know? And it came out at the same week as the Titanic.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
So it was right there, and imagine the competition it had, you know?
Hey, babe, what do you want to watch tonight? Titanic by James Cameron starring Leonardo DiCaprio or Mouse Hunt?
That's what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Titanic, bro. Beatrice always fucks with me because she's like, you like the Titanic? I'm like, don't ever speak about Titanic that ever again. I fucking love that movie, bro. I seen that shit, you know, on TV or whatever. I went to the movies when they came out, when it's like 25th anniversary. Yeah. It was nice. So... But Mouse Hunt is a movie on the side, you know, starring a couple famous people, a couple people that are huge in other movies that'll come later on. Damn, I think the laptop just died.
Bruh.
I know, right? Hold on, but I'll keep on going.
I'll just throw it out there for myself immediately. I thought this movie was so dumb.
Really?
I thought it was so dumb.
Yeah, I mean it is. You know,
I was really like. I was watching this shit and I was really just sitting there like, I can't believe like they did this. Like I can't I was trying so hard to figure out what the fuck the plot was. Yeah. And then at a certain point I was just kind of like, there is no plot. Yeah. They're just fucking around. There's no rhyme or reason to anything in this movie just other than this mouse is fucking with them. Why? Who the fuck knows?
And I'll say something really crazy. So I swear to God, and it's captured on camera. So I think the laptop is dying and needs a better charger. Do you have a better charger for it?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll say this. So you know how I just mentioned Jesus was looking and stuff and it was fucking with me? I swear to God, and I swear on everything, and it's captured on camera, but literally the laptop turned off and it restarted and there's another picture of Jesus on the screen looking the other way.
Is he giving you side eye?
Yeah, bro. No, look, he's looking the other way, so he's not looking at me no more.
Damn, he's upset with you, man.
No, bro. He said, I don't want to bother you. I want you to be comfortable when you're shooting your episode. I'm gonna look that way.
He's looking at the people now.
That's what I'm saying, dog. So exactly that's what it is. So it is a dumb movie. But I feel if you watch a movie like Superbad or anything, they're also dumb movies, you know? Any like comedies.
But there's plot to Superbad.
I mean, yeah, but he's just trying to get some
character progression.
Yeah, but he's just trying
to grow.
I mean, honestly, realistically, Mouse Hunt has a really has character progression as well. It has a story. I mean, we'll talk about the plot. Basically, it's two brothers who are the son of a famous guy in a string factory, right? He has a huge, massive string factory, and he's dying, right?
The movie also starts off with a made up quote.
Yeah, and it was a world full of string is chaos or something like that.
Yeah, a world without string is chaos.
Yeah, so basically, so he wants to hand down this factory to the two sons, but he says don't ever sell the factory to the big string co. You know, and then one of them wants to sell it for money, and the other one wants to preserve it for his father, right? And throughout the endeavors of and then they find out it was created by this famous architect, famous guy who made many houses, and it's worth a lot of money, even though initially they thought it was worth nothing. So I mean, there is some story to it. It's not like there's nothing.
No, I listen. Like the first,
but it's dumb though,
The first 30 minutes or so, immediately when the movie opened up and fucking the dad just goes flying down the fucking sewer, the manhole. I thought it was gonna be something of oh, what is the fucking mouse being controlled by the dad, or some shit, and just fucking with them because the dad just didn't like them or something. And because I was just trying to make sense of the whole thing. And it's the first 30 minutes, they definitely do set up a plot and a story. But then by the time they get to the house, it's just all fuckery.
And so my main point of it, and I still stand on that, regardless, I think some of the best movies that are pretty hilarious have the stupidest plots and are supposed to be dumb. Like Superbad, you could say there is plot progression and stuff, but it really is ridiculous. It is. One of the characters gets along with the cops, and at the end, they set the car on fire and shoot at it. And he's so, and it's all about getting pussy, So this one is all about catching a mouse, So, but my main thing is that, I mean, I love this movie. I think this movie is fucking great, and because I don't take things too serious, not saying you are, but I think I'll start off with some reviews on Google because it reminds, what you said, kind of reminds you. Because there's not that many 1-star reviews, because it's so fucking great of a movie.
Of course.
But one person wrote at the bottom, they were like, boring, too long, and funny if you are 5. Me. Another one says, load of total rubbish, waste of time. Another one says, never seen it. Why must I review? Grrr, now give me Bobucks. Was this review helpful for you? Nah, it was ass. Fuck? And then another one says, I thought this was a documentary about the hunting of mice. Very disappointing. And then 2 more. One of them is, the scene in the pound is absolutely disgusting. Don't watch it if you like cats or don't find gassing animals amusing. And then we got the top comment 5 months ago. Wow. Bob Sanders, who looks old as fuck. He wrote, terrible, hyper-violent, unfunny slapstick for the undemanding, and that's being kind. Only the gray, unwashed masses could ever find this awful, mean-spirited movie funny. Chill, bro. Chill, Bob Sanders.
Damn, bro. This movie hurt him.
And but
he probably had a pet mouse.
Yeah, but I do agree. It is so. One of the weird things about this movie that it's a kids movie, but there's a lot of non-kid aspects to it. Plenty of it.
I didn't look at the rating of the movie. I don't know if it's PG or PG-13 because I just wanted to find out now if you have that.
I'll look it up. I'll tell you right now.
Just because
it's PG.
Because they say the word shit at some point, and there's definitely a lot of adult themes in it.
There's one scene where one of the characters shoves his hand down the lady's dress, and it even comes down to a point where first he's going past her boobs. I don't know. Breast would have been the better word to use there, but boobs is always a funny.
I mean, you can always say bongers,
honkas, and then he even goes down enough in the dress where you can really portray it as him fingering her. There's a part
or when his ex is at the office and
in lingerie and
everything.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of things where it's how can this be rated a PG movie? But again, being a 1997 movie, which you're right, it isn't that old, but it also shows the standards as to which now
without a doubt
movies have come. So
it's definitely this movie is definitely a movie of its time where there were a lot of similar movies like this coming out during this time where it's just this very slapstick humor and whatever.
Exactly.
And to its credit, I will say that a lot of the actual practical effects pretty good. Really good.
I was fucking shocked, man, when I seen again. So we're going through basically in the movie, the father gave him a house. They thought the house was worth nothing. Turned out to be worth millions. Now they want to sell it, but they want to refurbish it. But they see that there's a mouse, and eventually they want to kill the mouse, and in the process they end up fucking up the whole house. So again, but the mouse is setting up traps. The mouse is fucking them and everything like that. So you really kind of have to watch the movie as well to understand some of the scenes we'll be going through. But we'll throw up some pictures, some references, and all that stuff.
Jesus,
Jesus for sure. But that's the thing I kind of like about it also, because that comedy in that time, I mean, I was 1 when it came out, of course, but being when I was a little more older to watch cartoons and everything, when they would have like Boomerang on TV and stuff and everything. This is the type of stuff that was in cartoons, and this is what I love about cartoons. How again non-serious it is. How when Bugs Bunny or what's this guy Elmer Fudd, when he tries to shoot Bugs Bunny, but Bugs Bunny twirls the shotgun reverse and it blows up his face, or Donald Duck or whatever. Like this is what humor can be when you're just loose and you find things funny in its own place. Because for me, there could be funny thing like what's it called, a movie we've covered, Burn After Reading. Burn After Reading is a movie we've covered, and it's there's some funny aspects, but show a child that they'll be like, this is the fucking most boring shit in the whole world, because it's a grown-up movie, but this is a kids movie, a not so kids movie, right? And I don't know, it's just for me it's just fucking it's stupid. For me it's a dumb movie. But Nathan Lane I'll get to Nathan Lane in a bit. He's one of the main characters, but he's a huge actor.
Yeah,
he's huge. And
I was shocked.
Yeah, man.
Like, what the fuck?
And he's huge in Broadway, And the other guy, I forget his name, but it's here. He's a comedian, huge in the UK, who's retired now.
Okay.
But I'll get into some facts and everything. So this movie was released December 21st, 1997. It's a DreamWorks film. And it was directed by...
That's another thing that surprised me. That's DreamWorks.
You know what? I didn't think about that either, but that is pretty surprising.
Because I've always just referenced DreamWorks as animation, and this is a live action.
I wonder what other movies they have that are live action. They have to have a couple more,
I don't know.
But I think Shrek, right? Ratatouille? Or was that Disney?
That was Disney.
Fuck. But it was directed by Gore Verbinski. And this was his debut film. Wow. So imagine he's like, I got you, world. But he later went on.
Check this out.
It's such a dumb movie. They keep hitting each other with the fucking sticks and everything. My man at the table. So this is his debut film, but he also went on to do Rango and the Pirates of the Caribbean and A Cure for Wellness. So if you like Pirates of the Caribbean or Rango, you should check out Mouse Hunt. And I don't know if you've ever seen A Cure for Wellness.
No, I didn't. I have seen Rango though. Yeah. I really like Rango.
Rango, I only remember it visually. I don't remember the story much. But A Cure for Wellness, I remember when I saw the trailer for that movie, I really was intrigued by it because there was a lot of water and there was a lot of weird. It's a movie revolved around water, but it's very ominous, creepy, and the trailer was kind of cool.
So it's probably ass.
It's honestly not the best movie, but it's interesting. And right here I wrote, I seen the movie twice, once in the theaters, I think, and once at home. And it never struck me as phenomenal, but I felt so compelled to it after I watched the trailer. And the second watch reinforced my interest for the film. But it's visually gratifying and has an interesting story. Okay. Its execution is kind of really subjective, but it really is about this mental ward where a lot of patients are acting strangely and they're wondering why and this and that. But the guy I showed you earlier, Dane DeHaan, he was in, for those who don't know him by name, because I didn't, he was in that Christopher Nolan movie that just came out, huge, Oppenheimer. He was the guy that, I don't know, throw up a picture of him.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but he's one of the guys, Dane DeHaan, DaneDehaan. That's a movie I want to cover in the future, because I also feel like it really is to each his own.
Yeah.
But it's super interesting, I would say, visually. I'll say this. The director for Mouse Hunt, Gore Verbinski, was once a guitarist for punk rock bands.
Wow.
So he for the Daredevils and the Little Kings, and after making some films with his friends, he decided to sell his guitar and buy a Super 8mm camera. That's pretty crazy, right?
It's pretty cool.
He shot some music videos for bands like Bad Religion, Monster Magnet, and more.
Hell yeah.
You know Bad Religion?
Hell yeah, dog.
All right. And he also directed commercials for Nike, Canon, Skittles, Coca-Cola, and United Airlines. So
what a sellout.
Yo, facts, right? It was nice. You got a dream, and it's nah, but he was probably making guap. And after Mouse Hunt, the best movie ever, bro. After Mouse Hunt, he directed iconic films such as The Ring in 2002, which grossed $230 million worldwide with only a $48 million budget.
So he did The Ring?
I'm telling you, bro, this guy actually has some background.
What the fuck?
And I heard a lot of people don't like The Ring as much. I never seen The Ring fully, so I can't say. I know it's a Japanese movie remake, no?
I think it's Korean, actually.
I'm pretty sure it's Japanese. I don't know. We'll throw up the answer here.
It's fucking Japanese, okay?
Jesus. It still baffles me, the Jesus picture on the screen, man. That was fucking creepy, bro. And that just means the Mets gonna win. In Rango, I can't say his name. Gore Verbinski won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature Film of the Year. Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl hit a record of 135 million on opening week. At the time, it hit a record of 132 million opening weekend, surpassing Spider-Man 2, which was 88.2 million at the time. So basically, it hit a massive record. I think it beat the record for all movies opening weekend. But now it's the highest opening weekend numbers go to Avengers Endgame, which is $357 million, bro. But I wonder, in terms of comparing inflation,
right?
I wonder if it's like, any more or less.
So you said that Endgame is currently the highest, and then before that was Pirates of the Caribbean.
The Curse of the Black Pearl, yeah.
That was the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah. I think so. That shit confused me because there's so fucking much.
I used to be a big fan of those movies.
Yeah?
So I do remember that Black Pearl was the first one, then it's Dead Man's Chest, then The World's End, and then I don't remember after that because the original trilogy was like my bread and butter.
Yeah. And I've never watched any of those movies.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
That's why I was never really a big fan of what's his name? Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Like I'm cool with him. Like, I think he's alright.
He's alright.
Yeah, but like for me, he was never. I don't know. I think I have to watch it because I'm not gonna hate on it without having seen it. But I look at that character, Jack Sparrow, and I'm like, nah. I'm like, I don't know how people could fall so in love with that character, But I haven't watched it though, so I can't.
Like I definitely don't look as fondly at those movies like in retrospect, just after all the shit that Johnny Depp has done or whatever, just like, or not that he's done, but just learning more about Johnny Depp,
like his character,
like just who he is.
You gotta separate the art from the artist, dog.
But it's just the thing is that he, like, what I learned is that he puts himself into his movies. Like, he doesn't, like, at a certain point, Hollywood was kind of just letting him do him. Like, even Jack Sparrow was not that character in the script whatsoever. And then Johnny Depp just came in, he's like, but what if he was just like this?
Yeah.
Super flamboyant. And just like, everyone was just like, I guess, I mean, you are Johnny Depp. You must know what you're talking about. And they just rolled with it.
But to be fair, it did gross.
It worked.
A lot of money.
It totally worked.
Yeah.
I
kind of admire that because, people that do that shit are kind of annoying, I would assume. But if you do it and it's successful, then you're just a special person.
and
Careful
how you say special. But it definitely worked. It's just like the reason why I don't look at it as fondly anymore because it's like he's just done that with all of his movies post Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's just after that, like he just really was kind of up his own ass of like, I can just do whatever the fuck I want.
I can thwart the director's image and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I don't know what other movies he's in aside from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Bruh.
What the fuck is he? For me, I think he's shittier than Brad Pitt. I mean, he's a lizard in that movie. It's like whatever. That's like that's voice acting, which I'm not like putting down.
Oh, you're not?
I fucking admire voice acting.
Yeah,
but he's voice acting. He can be in the booth waving his arms and be like, yeah, and then the director's like, yeah, go ahead, move however the fuck you want, bro. The way you speak, your cadence, like voice acting, like that's like a whole thing in itself. For sure, but it's half in terms of audio and visual. So like you said with Pirates of the Caribbean, he completely thwarted the image of the character, which in Rango, like maybe. After hearing his voice, they wanted that. And what's it called for Rocket Raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy? What's his name?
Bradley Cooper.
He played that shit amazingly. Yeah. He did it amazingly. And you got to be sporadic in the booth to, present that voice. And that's what he did. So aside from that, what other movies has Johnny Depp done? I don't really...
big ones that he's done, like more dramas. I'm trying to, because I know he had a period where he was doing more dramas for sure.
Yeah.
He never really did much comedies though. He was never much of like a comedy actor from what I remember, but I'm blanking on like other big films of his.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he's whatever to me. He's just a pirate and a lizard. But overall, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, it grossed $654 million worldwide. With a budget of $140 million, so that's pretty impressive, man. That's fucking a lot of a lot of money.
That's why they're still fucking making them.
Yeah, and this movie got 5 Oscar nominations, but won none. He then directed Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, which grossed $1 billion, over $1 billion, with a budget of $225 million, and it's the highest grossing Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
God, that's kind of crazy to think that they had a budget of 225. Because
Yeah, man.
like, you know, Marvel movies today are made of like 250 million budget. And that's today.
And but these movies came out like 2001, 3,
But that's
5,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So 225 then, like consider inflation now.
Yeah.
Like that they probably had a bigger budget for that movie than Marvel movies have today.
It's crazy. But I don't know. I mean, I for me, I have no idea on both those topics because, I mean, you know, not that like you can investigate in it, but when it comes to like Endgame, I wonder how much is on-site shooting and how much is really just like a green screen behind everything and CGI.
Those
you
Marvel
know,
movies are mostly just in a green booth.
that's what I'm saying. So I wonder if people who play the characters like Iron Man or Black Widow and all that stuff, I wonder if they enjoy that or if it's really kind of draining to be in. I mean, that's where being an actor is really where it comes out, right? Because you have to pretend you're in this fucking massive volcano or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you know the story, and then we can get back to
Yeah,
Mouse. But I don't know if you know the story about if I remember his name, Ian McKellen, who plays Gandalf in Lord of the Rings.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings. No.
He reprises the role in the Hobbit trilogy, but there was a huge difference from like the Hobbit trilogy to the Lord of the Rings trilogy in terms that they did a lot of CGI for the Hobbit trilogy because they basically crunched this movie in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So they couldn't build the sets and all that stuff, so they just CGI'd everything. And Ian McKellen actually broke down on set one day because like there was supposed to be a scene where he's sitting down with some hobbits and all he's doing is just sitting in a green room just talking to himself.
That's
and
weird.
he just like broke down crying and he was like, this is why I didn't become an actor to do this.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
that sounds correct because, you know, I get in terms of imagining, you know, like to become the set, you know, if you don't have it around you. But that's why it's hard to like really, I guess that's, you know, it's hard to appreciate. And I can kind of see now a little more where, what's his name? Martin Scorsese, he calls Marvel like amusement park movies. Because like, you know, his films, like they're on site. Like you don't have, maybe there's some like, of course, CGI, not CGI, but like, you know, movie magic.
right.
But they have to be there to shoot it. They have to get into a taxi. They have to get into this and this and that. And Marvel movies are more like made up. And you kind of, you know, they're both really, I respect both those movies. Like, I'm not going to say I respect any Marvel movie compared to Goodfellas, you know, but I will say, I mean, I love watching the Avenger movies and everything. But, you know,
Captain Marvel, though, the Marvels.
yeah, okay, so we're not going to talk about a stupid movie and then talk about a stupid one. No, I'm kidding. I never seen the new one. I don't know. That shit got hated on like crazy. Whatever. So, to your surprise, the movie Mouse Hunt wasn't the biggest hit financially. Oh no. This is what's it called? I was gonna say now. Oh no, I was talking about that. I'm just confused, bro.
Yeah, it's early.
Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.
The director now. What was his name again? Gore Verbinski, right? Now he lives in LA, where he pretty much avoids the public eye and he spends time with his family, which is a theme you'll see later on with another character in the movie. So, in terms of Mouse Hunt, what do you think the budget was, if you had to guess?
I just ballpark estimate. I'm just gonna say around 70 million.
It had a budget of $38 million.
Wow.
And in U.S. and Canada, it grossed approximately $62 million. The opening weekend was $6 million, and overall worldwide was $122 million. So it's kind of a lot of money for a $38 million movie. Not major, but
you do have to remember that like from like clown math is like they like to say that to double the budget to calculate for like advertising, marketing, and stuff.
Well, still, I mean, still $60 million in the bank, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, like they basically like broke even from what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, they made, if you doubled the budget to 80 million, they made 122 million. So they made 40.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't hate on Mouse Hunt, bro. I'm gonna catch you when you hit
it. I listen, man. I'm just throwing out clown math.
No, but again, like I said earlier, because it was released the same week as Titanic, it didn't hit the theaters as much. If it had,
what really sank that week? You know what I'm saying?
Jesus. And so the two brothers is Ernie Schmuntz and Lars Schmuntz. And Ernie Schmuntz was played by Nathan Lane. Now, if you don't know who Nathan Lane is, you do, because he played Simone in Lion King.
Yeah.
With Simone and Pumbaa. He was Simone. I can't do his voice. He's also in Modern Family, The Blacklist, 30 Rock, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Sex and the City, Austin Powers and Goldmember, Stuart Little, and Miami Vice. So you know who the fuck this is.
Yeah.
And he's also huge on Broadway. He's been on The Producers, The Addams Family, and more. The Producers is a huge Broadway show that when they rebooted it in Broadway, it was ginormous. I think it was around 2001.
Okay.
It had the guy who played Ferris Bueller in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it had Nathan Lane. And it was major. I'm telling, like, seats were selling like crazy and this and that. I think it won 12 Tony Awards and everything. So it was
That's a
amazing.
lot of Tonys.
Yeah, it was like Hamilton, but actually good. You know what I mean?
Fuck you, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Fuck you.
Yeah, man. And so he himself has 6 Tony Award nominations, and he won 3. And yeah, I mean, his career is huge, and we're not going to dive deep into that. But I think he's the star of the movie. He's amazing of it. His facial expression is great. I mean, I really fell in love with his character. I thought it was really invigorating because he's a great actor, but he really just did this movie, you know, all silly like.
Yeah.
And but his voice is iconic. I think so. He sounds like this almost, you know. But
I'm so curious to know like how passionate like some of the like crew and cast were behind this movie of like how many were there for like the paycheck, how many were there to just like how many were there to be like, yo, this is actually like fucking hilarious. Like
Jenny, this is gonna be a fucking hit, and if you can't stick with me because of this, then fuck off, because Mouse Hunt is my baby.
all I'm saying is that I would much rather watch Mouse Hunt over and over and over again than ever have to fucking listen to Johnny Depp speak about anything.
Yeah, man. I can't believe that whole trial thing like popped off and stuff. I couldn't bear it, man. But then we got Lee Evans, who's Lars Schmuntz, who's Nathan Lane's brother in the movie. And he's actually one of the most popular UK comedy. I can't. The fuck we doing podcast for? I can't even talk. Comic. He's a popular comedian in the UK, and his most successful comedy tour was Roadrunner, grossing 12.9 million euros. He's been in a lot of movies, but he hasn't had something crazy like that. He's been in The Medallion with Jackie Chan, and There's Something About Mary. And as a famous comedian, he what's it called? He was on the road a lot. He did all this stuff, and he says on a talk show that he used to clean toilets as a kid. And he worked immensely throughout his life because his dad instilled that mentality into him. He was like, yo, you have to work hard. But he was on the Jonathan Ross show on November 22nd, 2014, and he announced his retirement. He did so because his manager, Addison Cresswell, died of a heart attack at 53 years old. He retired at 50, and also like the manager he had was a famous manager for a lot of actors, a lot of comedians, a lot of everything.
Okay. But
he decided to retire at 50 after the heart attack that his manager had, because he said he just wanted to focus on spending time with my missus. Like he just wanted to spend time with his family. So he completely dropped everything. And nowadays I forget where he lives, but
man, that must have been a really impactful death. If he retired, that's crazy.
And
shit,
because the manager died at 53 and he retired at 50. So I think that like getting closer to that age, he was like, man, fuck this. And actually, there was like a paparazzi photo. They were like rare sighting of this guy. What was his name again? Fucking Lee Evans. But I thought that was very interesting because not only did he do that, the director did that.
Right.
So, So again, in a very silly movie, 2 big ass actors, but actor comedians. And
fucking Christopher Walken.
Yeah, we'll get to him soon. Yeah, man, like what the fuck? How did they get these casts? That's actually pretty hilarious. I kind of forgot about that. But the mice. I know you don't like mice. I just remember that. And I swear to God, when I mentioned this movie, I had no idea. Like, it was genuinely just because I was like, oh, let me just throw out this random movie. So
Frankie, I shit you not. A lot of the movie, I was kind of watching it from the corner of my eye. I really tried to like look at the screen, but I couldn't do it.
I completely forgot. I didn't want to mention it until we did the podcast, but genuinely and for real, I had no idea until afterwards. I was like, oh. But they,
like even the moments where it's the mouse is like super CGI like animated, even that I'm just like I don't like looking at it, man.
So there is a scene in the movie where the mouse like goes into its little crevice and it goes into its own room, basically. Like basically the mouse is a room for itself, and it tucked itself into bed and it laid. That was real. Like there's some scenes that you don't think is real where it is.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up because when I was searching up the movie and how to watch it, one of the first things that I saw on Google was, is the mouse and Mouse Hunt real? And I didn't look at it because I was like, I'm gonna wait to see if Frankie has something to say about this.
Let me show you. So in overall,
Don't show me.
Overall, they used 65 mice. Boone Barr was the veteran animal trainer for the film. And the live mice were used for about 90% of the movie.
Ugh.
But that's insane, bro.
It is.
Like when you think about like a credit to be given to a movie, and I didn't know this, before I watched it. And if you watch that movie, you're gonna be like, this movie's fucking ridiculous. But being that 90% of the movie actual mice were used, it's very impressive.
I mean, it just goes back to kind of what I was trying to say before to give it credit. Like the practical effects in this movie are pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
And like the more that I learn about this movie, now talking about it, it makes sense why they would list him to do Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Because like
it's silly,
It's silly, but they use a lot of practical effects in at least in the original trilogy of Pirates of the Caribbean. Like they use a lot of practical effects, and a lot of I felt like that was a big thing that people noticed and loved about the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where it was like, whoa, this shit looks legit. Like this shit looks like they're actually fucking doing this thing.
It was crispy.
Yeah, and so it's starting to make sense.
Nice. And the visual effects supervisor was Charles Gibson, which I wonder if he did Pirates of the Caribbean or like was brought on.
Who was the music composer?
I don't know, but let me look it up.
Because I recognized the name and I was like, no fucking way did this dude make
was it John Williams?
No, it wasn't John Williams. That'd be crazy.
That'd be amazing. That'd be like, yo, bro, this guy was just respected. Let me look it up right now. I
think just off a whim, I want to say it was like Danny Elfman.
Alan Silvestri.
Nope.
No?
But Alan Silvestri, I do know the name. Like I saw the name and I searched it up to see what else he did. I can't remember off the top of my head what else he did.
Yeah.
But he
did like, what's it called? Polar Express. Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did Polar Express.
Yeah, like he's done like some pretty big movies before.
Forrest Gump also.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that was huge about the movie. A lot of people said that the main theme, was more famous than the actual movie because it was so catchy. You know what I mean? And that really gives credit. And I think again, I've said this before, but when you think about the like Jaws and why Jaws is so scary, like most of it is of course the visual, but the final cherry on top is the dun dun. Dun, 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 dun. When you're watching that now, I mean, it's all that's movie, but anything you watch, the music is such a more important component, and you should always respect it. So
I'll say two quick things to that. Just with Christopher Nolan, sound is super important in his films all the time. Yeah, and a consistent thing that he does in his films is that he likes to add a sort of like countdown effect in certain scenes to create tension, where it's like constant crescendo where like the tempo is just constantly getting higher and higher and higher, but it never stops. It'll keep going throughout the whole scene, and subconsciously you're just more and more getting tense and getting more tense and more tense and more tense. So Christopher Nolan is really good at doing that in his movies. And the other thing I was gonna say to that was that fucking another we didn't mention it when we covered Mad Max, but the music to that movie is also incredible.
100%. Yeah,
and it that's another movie where the music really adds a lot to it, and that's not even to talk about the blind metal guitars, but it's just like
everything else.
Like the theme to it,
and even what's it called, Godzilla -1. I remember one of the first things you said was the gong really got you during the movie. Yeah, man. I mean, again, like that's one thing that I think I always, I never, when it comes to credits, I'm gone already and this and that. But I think I always never take it for granted. This is like a silent film, like Quiet Place. That's what it's called, John Krasinski, which is amazing fucking debut director film. That's so incredible. But yeah, I think music is always a crucial part of movies. And if you don't get the credit, don't worry. We the way we felt is the credit. You know what I mean? The way we, react is the credit. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the facts. Charles Gibson, again, I'll say, was the visual effects supervisor who handled the rest of the stuff the mice couldn't do. And Christopher Walken. So, what's it called? Him being dragged down the stairs. He basically was the exterminator for the house, and he told the two brothers, "Get out of here! I got this." And he did weird things like tasted the mouse's poop. He scanned it for sound. He like talked in a different voice so the mice wouldn't recognize him. The mouse. But when he gets dragged down the stairs being pulled by the truck that the mouse fucked him over with,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite scenes ever. Like that's one of those scenes that I remember as like when I was younger, I laughed like crazy because it's so fucking funny.
And it and again the practical effects of it is just like it. Like I remember watching it, I was like, how did they do this? I was really watching that. I was like, this looks really good. Like it doesn't even look like there's a puppet being dragged. Like it looks like fucking Christopher Walken is getting dragged through some stairs.
He always plays a weird fucking character, man. Like in Pulp Fiction, it's like, it's him to watch on my ass. And just, I don't know, but again, I adored the fact that he was so into the movie. Like he played a full character.
Yeah.
Again, you got 3 major characters, and I wonder how much they got paid, you know? But they're in a movie that if you were to go ahead in time, you would say they would never do this movie now, I think so. Or maybe their character says that they would, you know, but they took it very serious, you know. It's not like, you know, Oscar winning awards or something like that, but they worked hard for it. And I really appreciate that. That's the one thing I appreciate more now that I'm older and I can look into it. When I was younger, I was like,
very old.
Yeah. When I was younger, I was like, this is fucking awesome. You know, this fucking mouse rules.
That was like another thing, like when the mouse like gets into his bed and is looking at the picture and stuff. That was like a whole other thing where I was
so fucking weird.
Where I was like, what is the plot? Like, what is the meaning behind any of this? Like, it is just so bizarre. Like, you know, I'm not saying that everything has to have a super cohesive, coherent plot, whatever. Fuck you, Tenet. But it's just like with Mouse Hunt, I was really just like, at a certain point, I just had to like, I gave up. I was like, there's no point to this.
Well,
like,
that's what you're supposed to do. You know? I think the second you see a mouse tuck himself into bed, look at a Hawaii poster, and then his like the other mouse looking for the other mouse in admiration, you got to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna check this shit out for what it is, bro. I'm not gonna fucking, you know, because I'm sure there are like movie reviews like, this is top 10 reason why Mouse Hunt is a bad movie. 1, the mouse can't actually do that too.
Another thing I'll say too is that I felt like the movie was a little too long.
Yeah,
or like
pretty short, to be honest.
I know it's not a long movie, but it was still too long because it was mostly just like. They get rid of the mouse and then everything looks like it's gonna like turn out okay. And by that point, I was clocked out. I was like, okay, cool, like, you know, we're good, we're done. And then there's still like another like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
It's literally, I think the movie's actually like an hour or 20 minutes. I think that's like the shortest the movie can be.
And I was really just like, oh boy, here we go. Man. This is the third act. Here we go.
I love when I think some of the lines are so classic, man. And one of them is when like Lee Evans throws an orange and it hits the mouse, and they're like, kill it, and he's like, I can't. And so Nathan Lane is like, give me the thing, I'll do it. And he just tries to swing at it, and he doesn't. And then he tries again. He's like, I can't. It just doesn't seem very sportsmanlike. Like that shit is fucking gold, bro. Also, the hospital scene where the father gives the string to Lee, what's it called? That shit actually made me sad. Like that actually kind of broke my heart a little, you know, because but I didn't know this, but the father was played by William Hickey, who had a large career in the entertainment industry, and in the scene he was actually pretty sick. He died from emphysema, pretty sure, like during the filming.
Damn.
So he the movie is dedicated to him for that reason.
Oh.
But yeah, even when I saw the scene, I was like, this guy's like not acting. Like this guy's sick as fuck right now. What's it called? The former DreamWorks president, Walter Parkers, had this to say at a special party for the project. He says, quote, You think I'm gonna wish you well and hope that everything goes well? I'm not. I don't think you're ready to make this movie. I don't think this movie's any good. I think this was a big waste of money, and I think that all of you are going off on an adventure of folly. Well, joke's on him. Yeah, what a dickhead, bro. I was like, yo, go fuck yourself, bro.
I'm sure he's not the president of DreamWorks anymore.
Facts, man. They were like, yo, his stick on Mouse Hunt, get the fuck out of here. And also one little Easter egg.
You think if you interview for DreamWorks, you think if you interview for DreamWorks, like at some point after all the questions, like at the end of the interview, they go, and final question, what did you think of Mouse Hunt?
And they just look at you really, really intensely.
So what'd you think? Did you like the classic 1997 DreamWorks film Mouse Hunt?
And I'm there like, I fucking love that shit. And they're like, you're fucking hired. I'm like, and they're like,
and you're like, Let's just sit here for a second because I can't get up right now.
Why? You know.
We know.
One of the weirdest scenes is the shelter or the pound. Where all, you know what I mean? Where they went to this vault and the little girl's screaming on her way out because they took her cat or some shit like that. In that scene, when Nathan Lane approaches the guy who runs the shelter or the pound or whatever, what's it called? The pound owner, Maury, is also played by Ernie Sabella, who he's the voice of Pumbaa. So in the same scene as Simone and Pumbaa. That's just a little extra thing, you know?
It's just a little thing out there.
It's the circle of life.
You know, so what if your uncle just killed your dad? Who gives a fuck?
That's what I would say. Well, first of all, this movie is way better than Lion King. I'll say that off the bat.
The live action Lion King, yeah, right?
No, just overall Lion. I mean, Mouse Hunt, okay, nah, but it's not. But Mouse Hunt to me has a very special place in my heart. I will say, I fucking love this movie. I will definitely show my kids this movie all the time. Because it's actually funny. You know what I mean? Again, I think me and you are very different in how we watch it. But for me, like when I did, and it's also nostalgic, so that's that very biased aspect.
I'll say, like I didn't hate this movie.
Yeah.
It's just like it was just so dumb. It, like I was really just watching this, and I was really just like, they fucking made this shit. Yeah, man. They really made this.
That's why I love it, man. It's
like, you know,
awesome.
Not like Fear and Loathing, but like
the best movie ever.
This movie, I was just kind of like, this is a movie. Like they definitely fucking did it. Like, and you know, and I again, the most credit I can give to this movie for me were the practical effects.
Yeah, of course, hands
down all the way. Yeah. It's just like that was the best part of the movie for me.
And I think opinion wise, out of, you know, I think you're right. I think that it really is impressive because when I started watching it, that's what I thought. I was just like, how the fuck they do all this shit? Actually, one of the scenes where they had all the mouse traps, when you were saying earlier, like, was the crew passionate about it? And this isn't really speaking to passion more as it does like work. Mm-hmm. But they actually set up all like 168, 200 rat traps, like every single one for each shot. So whenever they would shoot and they have to do it again, they would have to set up each and every single one. Which is crazy.
And if it was made today, they would just CGI the whole fucking
bro.
thing.
And that's actually a big, huge thing about it too, man. That like, of course, there's shortcuts, but I don't know, a film that kind of takes you back, not too far back, but whatever. And I don't know,
that's old, but not very, very old.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, bro. But you know, and I have been watching a shitload of movies that are all serious. Like I haven't gone to the movies this year and watched like a comedy. Okay. But just to, you know, be a little less intense about it and just have fun, you know, just fucking watching it. But again, the nostalgic aspect for me was incredible. And I'm super grateful that I watched this when I was younger because it's just like, again, I felt like a kid watching the movie. Like, and this is my type of humor. But in terms of like comedy, I feel like it's such a wide range, you know, like there's Napoleon Dynamite, there's they're super bad and this and that. But, and
you know, hot take, Napoleon Dynamite. It's okay.
You're bugging. That movie's so fucking funny, bro.
That movie is okay. Hot take.
I don't agree at all. Yeah, I think that movie's fucking hilarious. And,
like. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I just don't think like it deserves like all the hype that it gets.
I think it does. I think given what the tools they use, I think the budget was extremely small as well, and I think a lot of people try to knack down on it. I think, and the success it had, and the almost a cult like following it has in terms of whatever.
I would say it's a cult classic.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it deserves all the credit, you know, it hasn't gotten, because it's so fucking funny. And you know, again, we can always disagree and stuff, but I think Napoleon Dynamite is like really. I'm not gonna say it's fucking, oh my god, it's incredible, but to me it's incredible in terms of what it's trying to be, and it's why we have most fun. I mean, it's so hard for people to make a comedy nowadays. Like, you know, there hasn't been a good comedy in a long time. A lot of people say Superbad is like the last of its kind in terms of like that, but I don't know. Napoleon Dynamite. Again, I think, and there's also how you watch movies, right? Like for me, when I watch a movie, I completely turn everything off and just take it in as it is. Because even now, like I feel now that with like phones and like so much technology, that there's times I'm watching a movie and I'm like so distracted, like thinking about some other shit, and then I really try to zone in and just be like, yo, just you're here now, like enjoy this shit, you know. And I think simplicity goes a long way, right? Like, I don't know. What's it called? There's a movie I watched recently. I think Anatomy of a Fall was. I mean, I don't know. This is just Anatomy of a Fall was one of the best movies, man. And I think, again, I'll still say Poor Things was way better than Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was not that good, bro. But Napoleon Dynamite, I love it very much. Yeah,
you know, I think it's okay. I'm not gonna hate anyone that loves it. You know, I'm not gonna be like you're insane to love this movie. It's just I just thought it was. I think it's an okay movie.
You also like us.
I do.
No, but yeah, that's
We like us.
I fucking hate that movie, bro. It's so bad. I hope Monkey Man's good though. I hope it's actually good. Yeah, because that movie looks like it could be good. What's it called? What's his name? Patel.
Dev Patel.
Yeah. I mean, I seen him in Lion. I seen him in the other movie. I mean, the Bollywood whatever. I think he did. But Lion, I remember I had an egg and cheese with lettuce and tomato in that movie. That movie was good. But Monkey Man, the premise just looks like, it looks like this movie's gonna be just a trying to be John Wick almost. You know,
I mean, that's what they're selling it as.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be bad because of that. I'm just saying like even John Wick isn't even that like, whoa, it's great, but it's also just that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's like Fast and Furious almost. You know, John Wick 4 was long as shit, man.
It was.
What the fuck,
you
bro?
know what? I'll throw this out as a question to the audience.
Yeah.
Who would win in a race? Dom from Fast and Furious or Speed Racer?
Speed Racer.
You think so?
100%. Fucking Dom is fucking stupid as shit, bro.
Dude, he fucking caused a parking lot to collapse with a stomp of his foot. You tell me he couldn't beat some fucking kid in a car?
Oh man, Speed Racer is fucking awesome. I heard that movie's actually pretty good.
That movie's ass.
Yeah. Never mind. I like the old show though.
The show is classic.
Yeah, man. Fucking Jesus Christ. All right, well, I gotta go to a fucking Mets game. As much as I do want to keep talking, to be honest with you,
I think we made good time anyways.
Yeah, man. Fuck it, bro. But yeah, go watch Mouse Hunt. Go for all the socials. Earth Mind Matter on YouTube. Earth Mind Matter Pod on Instagram, on
and
TikTok. And go to Javi's Showcase in Industry City in Brooklyn on April 13th. Go to that shit, man. And thank you for listening to the show. Go watch Mouse Hunt. I swear to God, it's a good movie.
And last thing, guys, Jesus.